I can already tell like this list is going to be a lot more polarizing between us because we have a lot more personal investments in the series that are on this list.
Yeah, so some of these only one of us has watched, and some people are just going to have to see that these are very good. You know, I'm just because I can see the ones that I picked are coming.
Well, you have a couple, and you only get to veto one, and I have a very different opinion on some of those too.
Oh, I'm not talking about like. Well, let's go. Let's go.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Food Wars. It's a background
That's
show,
that's that's.
or
I
or
put background.
all right. I would say it's a background show then. First intuition is a background show.
But it also is a show you don't want somebody to walk in while you're watching in the background because then that
Yeah.
becomes you're just listening to hentai news. No.
Like, what are you watching? Ah, this meat is delicious. You're like, what? And then before you know it, they're sitting down and they're like, wow. So they make this complex dish by 3 times filtering the umami over 3 years. This is insane.
You're just
I
like,
mean, actually, you know what? I'm
what?
putting it an average. I think it's a background show that if you give it its attention, it becomes a better than a background show.
I mean, I'm fine. I just don't like as long as we agree that the show's not spectacular because I don't think it
It's
is.
not. I don't think it is. I think it's average. Okay, so this is the Fate movie, right?
Yeah, the three movies that came out in 2017, 2019, and 2021, I believe.
So I
And
haven't seen these. I've seen a lot of um,
of the
clips from
clips,
these, and you showed me a lot of this.
I
And I know for a fact that Fate is your favorite anime series.
I will not put the other ones in this category, but I think it's in one of the top two. Like the series that is so much better than like the series, and like
Hmm.
the production quality is so high. Like I'm not saying that show is the best story, but it's been a few years since the last one.
Well, here I'll
And
grab the other one. So here we have the two. You can. I have. I've seen the series. I haven't seen the whole series, but I've seen a good portion of. Maybe I have seen the Stay series. I think so. I haven't seen the breadth of the Fate universe, but I've seen Fate Stay Night
I
with.
so
No,
that's
go ahead.
Unlimited Blade Works, and I think Unlimited Blade Works would
Oh,
probably occupy like the bottom
oh
of
well,
what to
I
watch again. It's a little long, and like
gotcha.
I think it's one of the middle two. Like I would watch it again, but
Hmm.
it's like once you learn about the big things that happen in it, it's kind of hard to keep watching it.
Hmm.
But I feel like the those three movies are supposed to be, if this is an RPG, those three movies are the perfect ending.
Okay,
Like, and so you save, well, you don't save everything, but you save most of the people.
I
And
see. So it's like the best end.
yeah, it's the best ending. And like, it
Because the Fate games are based off of a old, was it like a narrative sim, or what would you consider a Fate game? Was there
oh, it's,
nudity in the Fate games?
oh, it's 100% like a fucking harem game.
Oh,
But the
okay.
thing, but the thing is that like they don't portray them that way in the series or
Right.
the shows. And I I would I have all three of those movies special edition, like the $90 versions of them, and I don't feel bad. Like they're
I need
so
those.
good, and I
Okay. Well, not to derail you talking about Fate. I know how much you love Fate, but would you say, okay, so this one, you obviously really love these movies, right? Like they're worth the investment to have the Blu-ray edition. They're,
I
uh,
have them on Blu-ray. I have them on the fucking Microsoft store. Like they are amazing, and they're the best of the movies.
do you think they're a better representation as anime as art than Vampire Hunter D?
I think that if we're looking at this list that we have right here, those three movies have better fights than everything that we're showing here. Like if we
Like
want to
on
go
this or on this? Like the whole thing.
the whole thing.
Wow, that's a big claim, I think.
I
Okay, well,
I
okay, so you think it's exquisite. You think it should be up here.
I think that if it's there, I can place things ahead of it. Like I'd be fine with Redline ahead
Hmm.
of it. I'd be fine with other things ahead of it. But I
Okay,
think
I think that's good then. We'll put it there. Um,
oh,
and
so
I
that's
think I
that's
really need to watch them. At this point, I need to sit down and watch them
so
because
that's
that
that's
would be the
zero, and
only.
you didn't put Unlimited Blade Works up there.
Oh, I put the wrong one.
Yeah, that's zero.
Oh,
Unlimited Blade Works is in the first column on the third row.
wait, there's more.
Yeah, third
Where's
row,
where's
third row, third
third
row.
row? Third
Rows are
row.
horizontal, columns
There
are
it is.
vertical.
Oh yeah, this is the good one. I remember with Archer and yeah, okay. And then this one would be what?
That one's the adult one. That's the one that has the better story.
Background, appreciate but wouldn't watch again. What do you think?
I hmm.
Because I remember this one. This is definitely the one I remember. This is
That's
the
the
good
that's
one.
the newest. That one came out in like 2014, 2015. Fate Zero came out in like 2011. They're dated. Like you can tell.
Hmm.
I would rather watch Zero instead of Unlimited Blade Works,
Really?
which is like terrible for me to say because I know that I like Unlimited Blade Works more, but I would rather watch Zero because the story's better.
So is it? How would you do it? Would you have them and you appreciate them, but you probably wouldn't watch them again? Like, is it something like, oh, I gotta watch this again? But
I feel like they're in that tier of these shows. Like once you understand the story, you're only watching these for the fights again,
I see.
and it's every time like these like it's ufotable with an unlimited budget for like the movies, which is
Right.
why they're like breathtaking.
Hmm. Okay, so this
So
is
I mean, I'm
what
fine.
about
I'm
these
fine with that.
series? Yeah, okay. All right. I mean, I really need to give the Fate series a get. Like again, I really need to watch these because I think this is the only one we have had in this tier that we haven't had in common. Because on the other tier list, we had all of our top tiers in common. At least we'd seen them. So I think I really need to watch these.
Oh, I'll find them and we can watch them. All right,
All right.
there. Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll sit and
Anyway,
watch them. Um, Dragon Pink. This was a good one. It had a lot of action and good fantasy, good
oh, I've never seen that one.
storyline. You never seen this one? You've never seen this one? You should watch it. I would watch it again and again. And probably
Really?
a few times. I might watch it two times in one night. But I won't watch a lot of it.
Is Would you show it to other people?
Um maybe close friends.
At the same time?
Really close friends. It's a good one. You
Is this the
haven't seen
part?
that one, Zach?
Is this the part where you show the other tier of like the shame tier?
Shame tier. I mean, I could add a shame tier, but we'll add a shame tier at the end, maybe. But I think this show's excellent, and I would definitely watch it again. Moving on, we have. Oh yeah. So see, we're modern. We're cool. We're hip to it.
There's an
We,
isekai in here.
yeah. See. Reincarnated as a slime. You watched more of this one than I did. I like this one. I like Rimuru. I like the
Like
self-aware isekai character. Like they're like, "Oh, I'm in a game. I'm gonna break it." Like I like that.
I think this is 100% in yellow or orange. Like I am not delusional about the show.
Hmm.
Like I understand that it has some really great fights, but a lot of the slice of life stuff is very basic, and
Yeah.
they're not reinventing the wheel with anything. But I think it like with the way the last season ended, they started approaching that echelon of like when they do those tier lists of like the strongest anime characters, Rimuru goes towards the top now.
Right.
and it's just like so broken in terms of like character development. And but then again, when those tier lists talk about things, they also say like Gilgamesh is like the highest tier possible.
Oh, really? Of power?
Yeah, like it's like the conversation ends up becoming things like Gilgamesh or like Sailor Moon, because
What
Sailor
about
Moon can
Gurren
literally
Lagann?
bring people back to life. I I'm just saying what I see on the tier list. It's like
Right,
when
right,
they
right.
talk about those tier lists, they step away from like Goku's super good and like Ichigo's so fast and powerful, and it starts talking about like these characters that have like these insane feats of like bringing a whole universe back to life.
Well, yeah, that's
And
like when you get into the metaverse. Well, that's why I mentioned Gurren Lagann because spiral energy is infinite. But like, that was the fucking nerdiest thing I've ever said in my life.
I
Um,
don't even know what the next one is.
it's this. It's spider anime that we forget the name of, but it's the spider anime.
Oh wait, I can see the spider in the corner.
Yeah.
The thing
What is it
is,
called?
it
Oh, oh no,
I'm a
I've turned.
spider. Oh, I'm a spider. So what?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. I like this one. I think it's better than the. I would rather watch that than the slime anime.
I feel like if the humans weren't in it, I would put it higher.
Oh. Wait. I just remembered about the human parts. And it remember how bad it got in the last season, last part of it, like where you can tell the money was running out.
Wait, you mean where the part where they had the lantern, what the lantern was moving, the background was moving?
I forgot all about. It was like when it was like walked up to the dragon in the cave, and it was like, oh
Okay,
no,
okay.
no.
Don't get us wrong. We love this show.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's one of the reasons it's so good. It's because it's so self aware. It's the complete like it's the ultimate satire of the isekai genre.
It's just so good. But then the part with the people is so terrible because you appreciate the Spider Girl way more than
Hmm.
everything else. And when the people come in, you're like, these people suck. I hate all of these people. So like I would put this the we can put it wherever you want in the average show, but the humans fucking like ruin this show. And
I,
I feel like they need to make like a fucking Dragon Ball Kai version of the show where they just take out all of the human part.
well, I
Like
think it's funny with this list that already. I feel like we need to make like a billion sub tiers where it's like appreciate it because of this, or like this is good if it didn't have this. Like like.
it should
But yeah,
be
I think it
it
should be in
should
the
be would
average
watch
tier show.
again, but terrible.
Yeah, would watch again, but awful. I don't know why. Would watch again, but there's something wrong with me. All right, Elfen Lied. This is one of
Ash.
those shows. Oh yeah, it's absolute trash. It's worse than Doctor Stone, I think, because at least you can hate watch Doctor Stone. But when you're watching Elfen Lied, you're just a sick pervert. Like if you enjoy watching that and you watch it more than one time and you enjoy watching it, you're a sick person.
Yeah, like something's broken in you, and I know that when
Yeah.
like everybody was watching that show for the first time, they're like, "Oh, look, she's fucking naked in the first episode." And I was like, "Jesus Christ!"
Well, it's not only that, but it's like the whole extra breadth of like, sure, it's like it turns into a harem anime, and it's like some of those girls are of questionable age in this harem, but like there's like women beating, and like they rip the girls' arms off, and it's like people who get off to abuse. That's what I feel like that
But
whole anime
it's
is.
a torture porn
It's
anime.
torture porn. Yeah. Oh my god. And it's like, okay, we didn't put Made in Abyss on this tier list. I was gonna for the meme, so we could just mention it again. It has a little bit of that torture porn aspect, but where Elfen Lied is a fucking edge lord, where Elfen Lied is the Rick and Morty of torture porn, I want to say that this is like the it's not, is it West, who did the thing? It's like the 80s practical effect, like it's like the Fly of torture porn, of body horror. It's like it does it to heighten the estrangement of the world.
It's just a terrible show. I would not recommend you watch it or even look it up. Like,
Elfenlied, not Maiden Abyss.
oh no, no, yeah, I'm talking about Elfen Lied. Like, just don't waste your
Yeah, it's
time.
yeah. If you are like, I gotta look at this. Like, just go back to 4chan. Just that's where you belong. Elfenlied is like it's the 4chan anime.
It's if you see somebody and they're recommending that show to you, you know what? You don't need to listen to that person. You don't trust that person anymore.
Yes, don't try exactly. In fact, you probably should not associate or go to a second location with that person.
Yeah, because they might
Def
attack you with their invisible blade tentacles.
and impregnate you. That was the story. They impregnated people with those tentacles.
See, like the thing is, it sounds like a terrible hentai, and it's a real show. Like
Yeah,
it's like you committed way too hard to it. Like it's going to be serious. I'm like, this is not serious. You made a joke. You made a joke.
it, it's like where you watch it it's like okay, it's like your friend makes a comic, right? And you're like, oh, cool, he made a comic. He's a really good artist too. I gotta see what he makes. And you read this thing, and you're like, oh, is there something wrong with my friend? Like, am I reading into something? Like, this is like I'm reading into like a personal, like manifesto. This is a manifesto.
You, you,
Elfen Lied
you,
is a manifesto.
you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of the Parks and Rec singers. Like, is this what a depressed person would do? Like,
Yeah, except is this what a deranged person would do?
oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna
it's
shit on a
funny.
lot of these.
Yeah, Elfen Lied is a big shit. So to turn the corner,
Right at the bottom. Right
do
down.
you think it's worse than Elfen Lied?
What
Yeah,
is the first one on the unwatchable category again?
Fate Stay Unlimited. We think Fate Stay Unlimited is the best of the unwatchables, and it's below Attack on Titan. I don't think that's fair. I feel like there's too many normal people who watch Attack on Titan who just have it as their first subversive seinen, where it's like, oh, people die, or like, oh, it's Nazi themed. You didn't know. It's actually all about World War II. Like,
I
I feel
just
like it's baby's first serious anime, and it's unwatchable.
I,
And I
I feel
watched the
like
whole
part
thing.
I feel like part of my problem with the show is like how toxic its community is about
Yeah.
that show and like how much they stan the characters. And it's like
Yeah.
I watched the whole first season and a part of the second season before I dropped it because it realized that like it's just you know what it really reminds me of? It reminds me of ReZero. In the way that they're like, oh, it's edgy because we torture the shit out of these characters. So many people are gonna die. And it's just
Hmm.
like, okay, but like what's
It's
the
it's
story?
violent, but it's like a contrived sense of violence where it's just like, okay, let's. Why does
Like
this exist this
like
way?
if anybody can die, nobody's death matters.
Exactly.
So
But
I mean I'm fine putting it there. I was
yeah,
like I was trying to figure out if I'd rather watch Doctor Stone than Attack on Titan. I was like, no.
no, no, no. I think that's where it belongs, honestly, and I think that's gonna make a lot of people mad. Okay, so more backstory. I watched the whole thing. He only watched it. Like you're probably like you only watched the first season and a half. You didn't even get into the crazy writing. I think the guy's name's Araki that writes it. Or no, that's the fucking JoJo guy. But the guy who's right, he's such a good writer. No, it's a shit show of a writing, and it's completely Deus Ex Machina, and it's almost worse than Dragon Ball Z because at least Dragon Ball Z justifies the way it brings people back to life with like Dragon Balls. It gives you the whole like Snake Road Hell saga. Like you're like, okay, cool. There's some back. No, no. In Attack on Titan, it's like they walk up to each other and they're eating lunch, and it's like that's how the whole third, fourth, whatever, fifth season starts. Is it's like they meet up because they find each other eating lunch by chance, and that's how it's like they have their Deus Ex Machina. It's worse than an amateur D&D campaign. Like you have You're writing the story. You can make it so much better. Okay, I'm getting heated. I'm getting really heated because
Okay,
I was forced to watch this fucking piece of shit anime. I did the
okay,
same thing Zach did. I dropped it. Go ahead.
I will offer my opinion. Okay, so I tend to drop series quicker than a lot of people do, and I finished the first season, but I can tell you that once they start doing the trial shit and the cleaning the fucking castle episode, what is the point of that? Like, all episodes in the first fucking thing, like you hype up the fucking show with all of this action and like hyper violence, and then the fucking trial is what, like 3 or 4 or 5 episodes, and there's only like 12 episodes in the first season. Why do I give a shit? My thing is like they make that whole first season about you buying into Aaron being the main character, and when I started watching the second season, he's not even like the first 2 episodes, and it's
Yeah.
like, what was the point of the first season? It's so, I feel like that first second season, the schism between those two, like it just made me not like the
Well,
show because it started talking about characters that I don't give a shit about.
that's the weakness of that entire anime because it does that the entire time. It gives you glimpses of Eren and the Titan secret and like cuz the characters are sucky in that anime. Like you don't like any of them. None of them have like memorable traits. Like there's like two really cool ones and it's like those are the ones you root for the entire anime. And that's why people stan these characters is because they have no choice but to stan these awful characters because there's no other good characters by comparison or memorable ones. So it's like,
I kill like isn't Levi like the most stand character in the fucking
oh,
show?
Levi's the best character in the anime. That's why he's the only good one. He's the
Yeah,
one who refuses.
he dies.
Yeah,
Like not super early on, but like
no, it's super
relatively.
late. It's really late. Levi's death.
And doesn't he get like burnt alive or something like that?
He
Or
comes
killed
back to
like some?
life. He comes back to life. They have Titan serum that every Deus Ex Machina that you could possibly think of is in this anime. And like I said, I was getting to this point is like the biggest flaw about it is it you want him to tell a different story than he's telling all the time. It's like the castle cleaning episode on crack. He does entire seasons where he's not talking about the main character or the main plot at all, and you're just like, why are you doing this? And then he brings it into the next season to resolve the storyline, and you're like, okay, great, it's resolved, can we move on? And then he introduces another shit character or another shit plot line that's derivative of World War II thing, and you're like, I hate you, this is terrible.
I like we're gonna have to move on, but like generally neither one of us like this show. And I don't want anybody to think that we didn't put our time in because
Mm-hmm.
I tried. I really tried, and it is just it when you treat the whole first season like everybody's death matters, and then when you move later into the series, nobody's death matters. It's fucking stupid. Like it trivializes the sacrifices in the beginning of the show, and I just don't care because like the whole first episode is like you just put so much emphasis on the death of the mom, and then you're like, oh well, if we had Titan serum, we could have fucking brought her back to life. And you're just like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like when this timeline makes no sense. How much advancement did you make in that 10 years time? And how many times are we going to retcon things because Aaron's memory has been tampered with? It's like it's ridiculous. And it's like